प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। आज शक्ति नवदुर्गा मैया की जय। श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। सबको सीताराम। A very warm, cordial welcome is extended to each and everyone this morning. Those of you physically who have journeyed and have come to the Krishna Mandir at 40 Todd Street, San Fernando, Shubh Swagatam. For those who are viewing online, either on our YouTube or Facebook, again we extend a very warm welcome to you this morning, a very wonderful Sunday morning indeed. And we've all come with a common purpose, and that is to come in the presence of Bhagwan, to seek his blessings, to seek his inspiration if we are faced with challenges or difficulties, and indeed to offer our thanks and our gratitude for all of the blessings that have been bestowed upon each and every one of us. This morning, as we adopt that particular mood, that particular thought process, let us all now stand, gazing at the murtis before us, and fixing our gaze on that form of Bhagwan that we find most endearing, most appealing. As we do so, let us then close the windows to this physical world. Let us close our eyes. Assume that position of reverence, that prayerful attitude and demeanor as we commence our invocation this morning. Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Shri Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvara. Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swudha Namostute. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru. Nagindraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambharagaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandramvirase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. Om Manojavam Marutatulya Jetindriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Bhatatmajam Vanadayutamukam Shri Ramadutam Shirishi Namami. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. My team, resume your seats. Let us join together as we glorify Bhagwan through the medium of Kirtan. Let us clap, let us sing, and let us glorify His name.
गणपति गणेश को उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम शंकर भोले बाबा को, शंकर भोले बाबा को, डमरू बजाने वाले को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। अंजनी के पुत्र को, अंजनी के पुत्र को, राम जी के दूत को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। अंजनी के पुत्र को, अंजनी के पुत्र को, राम जी के दूत को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को, गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को, गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। सियापति राम को, सियापति राम को, राधे जी की शाम को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। सियापति राम को, सियापति राम को, राधे जी की शाम को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती, दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती, ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश जी मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती, दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती, ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश जी मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है। मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है।
प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। We continue this morning as we surrender ourselves in the presence of Bhagwan, glorifying His name, singing His praises. We join together now as we recite those wonderful verses of Hanuman Chalisa, as we sing and glorify Mahavir Swami, remembering all of the wonderful traits and attributes that we seek to emulate. Bal Buddha Vidya, we seek the blessings of Mahavir Swami.
चलो जी हनुमान, भजलो जी हनुमान। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मन मुकुर सुधार। वरनो रघुवर विमल जसु, जो दायक फल चार। बुद्धिहीन तनु केसा, हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजी, कांधी मूंज जनी वो साजी। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारी, रामचंद्र के काज सवारी। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाई, श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई। सहस वदन तुम्हरो यस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगाए। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद शारद सहित अहिसा। यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाइ राजपद दीन्हा। भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान। तुम्हारो पंथ विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर पल जानु। प्रभु मौद्रिका मिली मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होठ न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लगे तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपने तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग परिताप तुम्हारा, है परिसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान। भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान, भज लो जी हनुमान।
प्रेम से बोले श्री महावीर स्वामी की जय. A warm welcome is extended to each and everyone this morning once more. For those of you who have joined us just after we began at 8:30 this morning, Shubh Swagatam, and a very cordial welcome to each and every one to our Sunday morning puja and satsang. We are indeed joined, as we've been told last week, by many persons who view and who join together with us different parts of the region and different parts of the globe. And a warm welcome is extended to all our viewers and devotees who are joining with us from various parts of North America and Canada, from those persons who are joining with us even as far away as India. We want to extend a very warm welcome to each and every one. We have very regular devotees, as we do physically, virtually as well. This morning, before our brief pravachan, I want to just remind us of a few things as I have your rapt attention. So members of Management Committee, you are reminded that we have a meeting immediately after service. So all members of Management Committee, immediately after service, please remember we have a meeting that is on. Secondly, all youths, whether you are new to the youth group or you are older members or you are uncertain, so whichever category you fit in, and I think that covers all, there is a youth group session or activity that takes place after service. The invitations were extended last week at our service. So just in case you were not aware, and your parents are here, then have them allow you to stay after service for a youth group activity, team building activity, and activities that will take place along that vein immediately after service in the annex. So we're inviting all of the youths to please stay behind for that. In addition, you are invited to Satnarayan Swami Puja that will be performed on Tuesday evening, Tuesday of this week, from 4:30 p.m. and a warm invitation is extended to everyone to join with us for that puja on Tuesday coming. Our regular events, you'll also be reminded that yoga classes will continue tomorrow. Yes, from 5:30 p.m. Due to unforeseen circumstances last Monday, particularly due to the inclement weather, the classes had to be cancelled, but it will definitely be on tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. So you're all invited to join or to participate in that wonderful exercise and activity. Again, there are items on sale after service. That is puja samagri, various murtis, and so on. And it's right at the back of you. And if you are interested in getting things for your own home or as a small gift or token that you'd want to give to someone, please, you can view the items after service at the back. And they're priced very, very competitively. In fact, you can give donations if you wish along that line. So those are some of our major announcements this morning. We will be having the Bal Vihar class. Yes? So I invite all of the children, the teachers are here. If you can move across very quickly now to the annex where the Bal Vihar class is being held. Shivma Didi, one of our teachers, and Yamuna is here. So please, all children, we invite you to move across to the annex at this point in time for the Bal Vihar class. And those of you who are viewing on, I know it's been a very meandering time, a very uncertain time with the pandemic, and by no means is the pandemic gone. So that's why we still maintain the mask wearing and the various protocols, but we do need to balance that with life, which must go on. And one of that would be our children in a very focused and deliberate way. And the Bal Vihar program and class that we host at the Mandir is something that will really allow your children the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to develop socially, culturally, and spiritually. So we invite you, all those who are viewing on, you know, if you have some doubt, please be assured that all protocols are being followed and observed, and your children are, in fact, in a very safe environment. This morning, I invite us all to join our palms together as we engage in one moment of contemplation before pravachan. Hari Om Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम. Last Sunday, Pandit Devendra, when he was here, spoke about a couple of different topics and themes. He spoke about the merit of satsang, of coming together. Binu satsanga vivekana hoi, and he went through that particular expression in Ramcharitmanas. He also spoke about the Hanuman Chalisa and about us as Bhakt, as Sanatanists, as Hindus, understanding what we do and why we do things. This morning, as we do every Sunday morning, we've rendered the verses of Hanuman Chalisa. And we've done so with vigor. We've done so with love. And that was very evident in your faces as you were singing. Obviously, I can't see the lips because the mouths are masked. But in the clapping and so on, and it was very evident in terms of the love that we have for Mahavir Swami. Let's just think about that for a moment. The love that we have for Mahavir Swami, for Bhagwan, as Hindus. That Shraddha, or that faith that we have in God. And how sometimes that is tested. So we think about that. Over the past couple weeks, there are many things that have been going on around us. Some of us have been paying particular attention to different things or different aspects, but there are many different issues that have arisen and have reawakened in our society in which we live, and that's very important for us to always pay particular attention to. So what were some of these things? Going back in chronology, we've had a cruise line wanting to employ 2,000 persons from Trinidad and Tobago for jobs on the cruise ship industry. And we've seen thousands of people, younger persons in particular, lining up in the rain and in the sun, whether it be at Napa. Many of you would have seen the lines at Sapa, and we would have seen the images at Shore Park in Tobago. So wherever you went, whether it's north, south, or Tobago, you saw long lines of persons who were seeking employment, who were seeking some sort of gainful engagement in order to earn a livelihood. Thousands of people. And that is in furtherance of earning a living. There was an interview conducted in the daily newspapers, actually several of them, two by existing members, and both of them indicated very clearly that while these employment opportunities offer to prospective employees great hope at earning a living and so on, it comes at a sacrifice. The sacrifice being that you will be on a cruise ship, not in the glamorous setting that you see passengers and patrons in, but in a different setting, below deck, where you will be there for several months of a year, away from your family, away from your loved ones, and working. So it's not a vacation by any means, but it presents an opportunity. Another one from a response from one of the persons who's a technical artistic director, again working on a cruise ship, and she said that one of the biggest transitions will be a change in the Trini attitude. And I'm quoting her, that if you want to be successful, persons who are prospective employees will have to be prepared to change their Trini attitude in order to be able to sustain themselves there. And we must ask ourselves, what is this label that has been bestowed upon us, known as the Trini attitude? So think about that. About prospective employees, several of them were unemployed. Many of them have been recently retrenched. There was one mother, single mother of 3 children, who was retrenched from TSTT, not in this cohort, but before, last 2 years. And since then, she's been trying to earn a living by working in various clothing stores or various retail establishments to try and earn money to sustain her children. And she sees this as an opportunity because she has a relative who did similarly and was able to acquire a home and provide a comfortable material living. But ask yourself, if that single mother leaves her 3 children to work on a cruise ship for several months of the year, who's looking after those children? But circumstances dictate that this is something she has to do. So think about that. We've also had, rearing its head, quite ironically, in about a week after a statement was made that school violence was down to 0. That statement was made, and you know sometimes you use the saying goat mouth. Well, it seemed to have been goat mouth well spread. Because immediately that statement was made, we had a plethora of violent incidents occurring in the school system. The one which hit the headlines very graphically was the incident of the 15-year-old student involved in an altercation in Williamsville after school hours, resulting in one other student being injured with the use of a knife. The future of our students is indeed in our school bags, and that school bag apparently was carrying a knife on the given day. Yes? Now, what's happening to that 15-year-old? That 15-year-old is being charged. That 15-year-old will be out of school. And that 15-year-old, as one commentator says, is going to go through the court process, which is a very undesirable process for anybody who's had the misfortune of being through it. It is not at all the justice system by any means. It is more the injustice system. And will end up, God knows where, but definitely not in school at age 15. And these are just examples of what is reported. Coming out of that would have been the reports of how many hundreds of students have been found in acts of indiscipline where they have either been expelled or suspended or things of that nature from a range of activities, from rudeness to teachers to violence in school with and without weapons and other things. And I'm sure the young ones who are in school right now, and there are many of them here, will know of these acts of indiscipline because unfortunately it has become the norm in the school setting. It has become the norm. And regardless of whether persons want to say, well, it's dependent upon the school that your child goes to, that may be a factor to some extent, but that's not the only factor. Because these acts of indiscipline and deviant behavior are occurring regardless of the school that they go to. And what is causing it? So many people try to identify the causes of it, and there's no one cause. There are several causes. What we do know is that the lockdown and the restrictions forced upon us by the pandemic have not helped matters. They've in fact escalated matters. Yes? We look again at the situation of domestic violence within the household and the many atrocities that have been committed and are ongoing, but we're only hearing about the ones that are reported. And I'm sure many of you know of many acts of atrocities that have been committed that are not reported. And it has become endemic in our households and in our homes. Then there's violence that we're seeing unadulterated on the screens and on social media. Places that should be secure, children's homes, where the vulnerable in society are being housed, to be protected, to be nurtured, to be cared for. There's abuse taking place there. And these instances of abuse, it's not last week, it's not the month before. You're talking about decades and decades. Reports, investigations, and very little, if anything, being done. And that is the harsh reality that we as a society, we as a people, are faced with. And I haven't even gone into the economic hardship, which I'm sure we are all feeling. When you go to the grocery now, when you go to the gas station and you pay for your gas, when you go to the pharmacies, when you go to the market, your prices are not coming down. They're escalating. They're going up. What you could have purchased with $100 now is far different from what you were able to purchase with $100 some years ago. Far different. When you go to the gas station and you say, I want $100 gas, and you think your tank would be filled up, well, you have another thing coming. Yes? Now, what has led us to where we are? Well, boy, is the government in power? Yes, that's the reason all of this happening. Well, let's scrutinize that. That may be true to some extent. Let's interrogate that. But then if that is the case, then why did the last administration lose office? If we don't like this government and we didn't like the one before, what happened with the one in between? And you take a pack of cards and you shuffle it up. It's the same set of jokers you're getting out, right? So we have all of these problems affecting every single person. And our goodly folks in power on all sides concerned about a name. Who name? And this name and that name. And that issue has now become the prominent issue. About race baiting and race this and race that. And they're right, that's what it is all about. It is about a race card. But are we as a people going to allow us to cloud our judgment, cloud our actions, and not reactions, our actions, and how we direct our own business? That is the question. What does all of this have to do with Mahabir Swami? Well, Pandit gone political today. I haven't. I'm saying this to you because in the context of Hanuman Chalisa and what Pandit Devendra said about understanding our scripture, and this Chalisa that we all sing with such reverence and with such hope and with such faith, it's supposed to have meaning for us. Why? Because when we look at the verses composed by Tulsidas Ji Maharaj, and we look at the persona that is Hanumanji, whenever and wherever we encounter him in our scripture, it was because of certain challenges that were faced with at the time. Different persons in different circumstances of different stations in life being faced with different challenges. Whether it was Sugriv, whether it was Prabhu Shri Ram, whether it was Sita Mata, whether it was Lakshman when he was injured, you name it. There were different persons faced with different challenges. And Hanumanji was the go-to person. He was the go-to person. Why was he the go-to person? Because of his love and devotion unwaveringly, steadfastly to Bhagwan. Regardless of what came his way, whatever challenge, he never lose focus on his love for God and his unwavering faith that his love for God would direct his actions and would allow him to be successful and to overcome any challenge. Let me repeat that. Steadfast in the belief that his love for God would direct his actions and his decision-making and allow him to overcome any difficulty or any obstacle that comes his way. That is the example of Hanumanji. If I were to ask, do we love God? I don't think there's anybody that would say anything but yes. You know, there's an announcer on Jagrati, I can't remember his name, and he says we must not be a God-fearing people, but we must be a God-loving person. And I agree with him. We mustn't fear God. We must love God. And we all do love God. And when we love God, we must do so without condition. We mustn't only love God in the good times, when things are happy, when things are all going our way, when, yes, I have all of the friends, I'm very popular, I'm successful in my exams, my relationships are excellent, I'm in the best of health, I'm earning enough money to sustain myself. That's not the only time that we should love God. When we are ill, we must love God even more. When we are challenged financially, we have to embrace God. When we have problems with our relationships, we need to hug up God. When we are having problems in our family, we need to surrender to God. That is what we are to do. Because if we adopt that mindset, then we will be blessed with that vivek, with that discrimination, with that direction, with that intellect to make the correct choices. And those correct choices are sometimes very difficult ones. Choices, sometimes the good ones, are not very hard, not very easy. They're very hard. They're tough decisions that sometimes we have to make. So if we love God and we say, God, I'm in financial difficulty, what do you direct me to do? Immediately we'll say, well, we need to pray to win the lotto. And when we go to the lotto agent, we say in all the mantras, let this be the winning ticket. And what do you think will happen? You'll lose your, what, $5? Is it as much for a lotto ticket? You'll lose your $5. And LCB will be smiling because they're $5 more richer. What is another direction that God could make you do or guide you to do? You could forego that $5 that you was going to give to the lotto agent. So some people would spend $5. Some people say, well, you know, I'll spend at $20. I get 4 tickets for $20. If you forego that and you do that per week, you end up with $140 in your pocket that you would have given to NLCB. Why? Because God has guided you in that direction. $140 might fill your tank of gas. Instead of going driving and liming all over the place, we stay home and read Bhagavad Gita. So you save on the $140 you put in your gas tank. And instead of that lasting you 1 week, it lasts you 3. And you start see the incremental way in which a small act by the direction of God and proper thinking will put you on a better pathway than you were in. Little incremental things. Of course, you could make bigger decisions. And I'm just saying that in the context of finances. Somebody will tell you, well, invest your money. You know, you have all kind of thing going on, Bitcoin and this coin and that chain and the other chain. But if you don't have the money to invest, where are you going there? And what's your return of investment now? You know what people say, I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm mining Bitcoin. And it went from there to there, and it's somewhere there now, and people lost money, gained money, all within the space of 2 weeks. Some people can't even receive their money. I have so much money in Bitcoin, you know. But they can't get it. Because we're all chasing after elusive dreams of getting rich without being prepared in the main to make the little sacrifices that are required. Hanumanji tells us about whenever you have difficulties in life, be prepared to adapt. When he had to cross that ocean to go to Lanka, the Katha tells us, and when we sing Hanuman Chalisa, there were different Rakshasi that presented themselves before Hanumanji. So on the one level, we could take that very literally. Lankini at the very end and all the others who were there. But Hanumanji's mode of dealing with each challenge and each difficulty was different. He didn't use the same method for each difficulty. And so it is that we too, when we are faced with challenging and difficult times, we have to be prepared to adapt and to do things differently. For the student, for example, who have an exam, and your mode of studying for the exam was to take notes and to write over everything, and you write the exam, and guess what? You didn't get the A. You get a C. And you're thinking, well, how is that possible? Maybe the way in which you're approaching that exam needs to be different. Maybe instead of rewriting your notes, you need to be doing practice questions, which is a different method. And that might yield success, which it does for some people. If you have a problem with a relationship and you're trying the same thing over and over and over, you're literally bouncing your head against the wall, then try something different. If you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're getting the same result, you think doing it one more time will give you a different result? It won't. So do something differently, adapt, change, be prepared to do that. That is another example of Hanumanji. So brothers and sisters, in this country we have found ourselves, and I've just cited a few examples within recent times, of economic challenge, of social challenge, of physical challenge, undoubtedly of mental challenge, emotional challenges. They beset us. And if we continue to rely on who is in power to fix our problems, then we're doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I could tell you that's not going to happen. Just look at who is offering themselves back up again and again and again to be the servant of the people. Why would it be any different? It's the same pack that is being shuffled and is being presented. It starts with us. It starts with each and every person, with the little decisions that you make, being prepared to stick it out for the long haul, knowing that, okay, I will make a decision, but I will not yield overnight success, but I started the journey. I started the journey. And what they say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take the single step. Whether it is in your personal health and wellness, whether it is in a relationship, whether it is in your mental wellness and well-being, whether it is in your finances, whether it is some challenge that you have that you need to overcome, some affliction, some addiction even. It starts with a single step, but it starts with us. And that's why the Mandir is such an important place, because you come here not to see which kurta the Pandit wearing, or to hear who were wearing a particular sari, or to see what this one doing. That's not why we all come Mandir. And I could say that that's not why you come Mandir. But we come here to be with persons who share not only our space, but our direction. And that is a direction of positivity, notwithstanding the darkness around us. You know, later this month we will celebrate the anniversary of the Krishna Mandir. Well, that topic alone caused so much harbor in the past, I even go in there again. About which year it was, and who was there, and who not there, and who should be recognized. Not by anybody here, by other interested parties. The point remains that this Mandir has served a purpose and continues to serve a purpose, not for me. I have enjoyed the benefit of it. But for all of us, everybody who comes here have benefited in some way. Whether it is to give you an opportunity to offer prayer, to do a puja, to meet with somebody, to develop relationships and friendships. It has given us an opportunity. And it will continue to do so if we allow it to do that. And so it is useful, as I keep saying, from the smallest of children, that Balvihara class, you must buy into that if your children are of that age, because it gives them a grounding. Look at Amy sitting there now, with her own children going to Balvihara class. You know where she used to be when she was their age? In Balvihara class. Different teachers, different format, but nonetheless there. All of these young men and young ladies who are here, who grew up in the Mandir, that's where they started. And then they moved into the youth group. And then from the youth group, they've moved into a place now where you have people like Amral and you have people like Mitra who are now on the management committee. That is the circle of this life. Because you have a continued, unbroken commitment that allows you to develop and to assist others. That is what we want, not for us, but for everybody. And so it is, I want to make the plea that if you see the vacant spaces next to you, where people who would normally have come to Mandir before the pandemic would have sat, and they're not here, then reach out to them. Reach out to them and encourage them to come back. Because yes, you could say, you know what, I'll sit down and look at the video or the online stream, but it's not the same. It's not the same. The benefit and the energy and the vibration you could get from being here is far different, no apologies to our viewers online, than when you view online. Obviously, Tara Sunarain, who is in Florida, can't come every Sunday morning. That'll be one heck of a commute. And Mr. Shankaran, who's looking at us in his village in India, can't travel here every morning and bring his bananas to offer as he would normally have done. That's a real big commute. So those are the folks that need to benefit from online. But for somebody to say, you know what, I don't feel like coming on a Sunday morning, you know. I feel I go get COVID if I go Mandir, you know. Knock on wood. The baby is wood, by the way. We've not had an incident, not one. Bhagwan be blessed, of COVID here. Because why? Everybody is disciplined enough to follow the directions that we prescribe. If you're ill, do come. If you're not ill and you come, check your temperature, wear your mask, sit at safe distances, and sanitize. I'm not wearing a mask. I have it here because I am at least 40 feet away from some people. So that is what we need to encourage people to come back on. And not only come and be passive recipients, but become involved. So many people with so many talents who are sitting here that can give of themselves, their expertise and their time, and who do, but there's so many more of you that can give, who are looking on and that could give. I'm not talking about money, you know. That talk will come after. I'm talking about your time and your energy. The teachers who run the Balvihar program, they volunteer, they give their time and energy. They could have said, you know what, I want to sit down home and make my little macaroni pie this morning. I don't need to go Mandir. Who would lose? Our children. The young men who come every single Sunday and do the streaming, they could say, you know what, I'm going to lime Saturday night, boy. I don't need to get up Sunday morning. As so many of our young people do. Who would have lost out? All of the people viewing us online and everybody who viewed during the pandemic. And we have so many other people, the ladies who do the flowers from time to time. The lady who dresses the murtis that we look at all the time. So there are many people working very quietly and effectively in the background. We need more of you. We need more of you. Well, I'm not on management committee, man. I don't need to do that. We don't need to be on management committee. You know. You do not need to be on management committee to give of yourself. Whenever you walk through the entrance of the Mandir now, I want you to look at the garden that's outside. Led by one man, Ajoda, Uncle Ajoda Suku. He dedicates himself to that regardless of the challenges he has. He appeals all the time. Come and help me now. He says it all the time. Uncle J, I must apologize. I've never taken up the offer to come and help you. But my thoughts are there with you. But he's appealing for the help. Because Uncle Ajoda, notwithstanding his youthful appearance, he's not a young person. He shouldn't be climbing up on top of anything to do nothing. We have young people to do that. So this is the opportunity. And why am I saying this? Because when we do these things, we set an example for our younger ones. And when they asked about where the violence in school starts from, there's some contributing factor in the school. undoubtedly. But it starts in the home. It starts in the home. You can nip that in the bud if you are present, and if you are mindful, and if you care. Many parents are not present. Some by choice, but many not by choice because they have to work and work long hours. Some parents are present, but they're not there. Their mind all over the place. And the phone, the TV, and the computer are raising the children. And some people are just vacant and absent. As they say, they make children and they go on their way. Many people. And that is where it starts. All of the positive habits and attributes that we want to have, that label of the Trini culture of being don't care damn, non-productive, dishonest, that's the label. That is the label, in case we didn't know. Those are the labels that we have to defeat. When you're trying to find a workman and you have a choice between a Venezuelan and a Trini, guess who will work harder? Who will come out? Who wouldn't say, well, I drank last night, I can't come to work tomorrow. Unfortunately, that is what it is, because that's their work ethic. We have lost our way. We have lost our way. Not everybody, but a vast majority of people. Ask Mr. Suklal. He worked for a long time in the oil industry. And he will tell you about the problems to get people to be honest and productive and to give a day's work for a day's pay. Many people don't know that concept. That didn't happen overnight. That happens in the home. That starts there. If you see your parents working hard and honestly, then in the main you'll want to follow that route. As parents, sometimes we make the mistake. We don't show our children how hard we work. We make it look too easy. And we give them all that they want. And because of that, they do not appreciate the sacrifices that you have made to give them what they want. I know I've taken a lot of your time this morning, but I thought it important for us to reflect on these matters. But more than reflect, to make the decisions and the choices that will allow us to redress these wrongs and these problems and afflictions that we find ourselves confronted with now. Prem se boli Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. So the Balvihar class has ended. The children rejoin us, and I invite you now to come forward and to perform your arti. Again, the gloves, physical spacing, and disposal of the gloves after sanitizing your hands.
जय गोविंदा गोपाला मनमोहन श्याम कन्हैया मुरलीधर गोपाला घनश्याम नंद की लाला मुरलीधर गोपाला घनश्याम नंद की लाला जय गोविंदा गोपाला मनमोहन श्याम कन्हैया मुरलीधर गोपाला घनश्याम नंद की लाला मुरलीधर गोपाला घनश्याम नंद की लाला जगपालक तू रास रचैया गोवर्धन गिरधारी कितने नाम तेरे नटवर तू
विश्वमाता
जय कामेश्वरी जय महाशक्ति
जय कामेश्वरी जय महाशक्ति
जय चामुंडेश्वरी जय गौरी देवी
जय चामुंडेश्वरी जय गौरी देवी
अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा जय भुवनेश्वरी जय जय मोकम्बा
अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा जय भुवनेश्वरी जय जय मोगम्बा
अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा जय भुवनेश्वरी जय जय मोकम्बा
अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा जय भुवनेश्वरी जय जय मोगम्बा
जय भुवनेश्वरी जय जय मोकम्बा
जय भुवनेश्वरी जय जय मोगम्बा
We'll have a small chant at this point, and then we will have announcements.
नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरि
Prem se bole Bindraban Mihadi Lal ki jai. So before we stand for RG, just a couple of reminders. Again, management committee meeting right after service. The youth group, and again, all members of the youth group, please stay behind for youth group activity. Refreshments will be provided for you, so parents, you can leave them behind. They're in a safe environment and return at the allotted time to collect them after that activity is complete. So we urge all youths to please stay behind. Satnarayan Swami Puja, 4:30 p.m. This Tuesday, right here at the Mandir. You're all invited to attend. Yoga class tomorrow, that's Monday, from 5:30 p.m. again upstairs of the annex. And you're reminded as well of items on sale, after service puja samagri and so on, that you can patronize after we are completed. Next week, Sunday, is a very special day. It's Father's Day. So all fathers, you are expected to be at the Mandir. I know it's a long weekend. Well, it ought not to be because the holiday is Thursday. Friday is a working day. Saturday is Sunday. Monday is the other holiday. So looking forward to seeing all of you with us next Sunday. And it will be a very special Father's Day service. And then we will be observing the Mandir's anniversary later in the month. And you will be hearing more details about that. Upcoming events obviously include Guru Purnima, Janmashtami, Raksha Bandhan, and our Ganesh Utsav celebrations that you'll be hearing more of upcoming. So wonderful things. We look forward to seeing many persons here on a Sunday morning observing the protocols. Those of you who wish to make donations towards the upkeep and maintenance of the Mandir, please see any member of the management committee after service. Those of you who would like to sit for puja or hawan on a Sunday morning, as Diane has done this morning, you feel free, please, to contact or see Mrs. Rama Umrao, who is seated at the front, one of the members of the group, and give you a name and make the booking accordingly. I invite us all now to please stand. Those of you who are celebrating your birthdays or anniversaries, may Bhagwan bless you as you celebrate this week. Those of you who are commencing any new undertaking, dealing with any health or other challenges, then may Bhagwan bless you as well to overcome those difficulties. We engage now in Aarti Bhajan.
Om Jai Jagadish Hari, Swami Jai Jagadish Hari, Bhakt Jano ke sankat, Das Jano ke sankat, Chan mein dur kari. Om Jai Jagadish Hari.
Hari Om. As we conclude our puja and our satsang this morning, O Prabhu, we have surrendered ourselves to you in thought, in word, and in action. We ask for your continued blessings upon each and every one of us as we go through the daily steps of each and every day. Let us be reminded of your presence around us and within us. Let us be reminded of your presence in each and every person that we come into contact with. If we have been engaged in any activities that we needed to be mindful and to change, then give us that strength to turn away from those pathways of negativity and once more to return to your warm embrace. For those persons who are facing illness, sickness, loss of a loved one, please give them the strength to overcome their challenge and their difficulty. Let them be reminded of your omniscience, your omnipresence, and your mercy. For all persons who will be celebrating whatever event the upcoming week and ahead, let us all be reminded that it's through your blessing and grace that all of these things are possible. Let us be blessed with that spirit of gratitude. For you are mother, you are father, you are family, you are friend, you are knowledge, you are wealth, you are everything to us, O Prabhu. We surrender ourselves completely. We join together in one voice as we chant our closing prayer. Hari Om. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Seka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Asatu Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, प्रेम से बोले श्री सच्चे सनातन धर्म की जय. Turn to those around you, सब कोई जय सीताराम, जय सीताराम, जय सीताराम. And I've just been reminded that our very own beloved Shari Chandrajit celebrates her birthday in this upcoming week. So Shari, may Bhagwan bless you as you celebrate your birthday with long life, good health, and happiness always. I'll invite the group to render the birthday song.
बार बार दिले